Hey, Thomas.
So they,
Yeah.
how you doing, Jonathan? So they had the vice presidential debate last night. Vance and Walz on CBS. What
Yep.
were your thoughts on it?
I mean, listen, it was completely different from um, Harris Trump. They almost got along in some instances when they were talking, which, I'll be honest, it kind of feels nice when people are like respecting each other when they're talking. It wasn't like that the entire time, but um, Walls had uh, a lot of good things to say about what JD Vance had, some of the policies he was talking about, some of the ideas he had. He mentioned on several occasions that he agreed with a lot of what he was saying.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, what's interesting is that he on oftentimes he had some things to say that didn't sound terrible, but he got some direct questions and he just had that same speech. Like they asked a question about um it was about him in if he was in China when
Oh,
during like the
Tiananmen Square.
yeah,
Yeah.
and because that's one of the things of interest right now because he said that he was there when asked the question directly. He kind of walked around the question, didn't answer it.
Hmm.
Eventually, saying that he implying that he wasn't there, but didn't say that he wasn't there. He said that he was a teacher, bringing students back and forth to China that summer.
Yeah. And
So
he called himself a knucklehead.
he
Dunk.
called himself a
Very bad
knucklehead.
move.
He
Yeah.
mentioned, I think he misspoke. He said that he talks to the school shooters, or the way he said it,
Yeah.
I think he made a mistake. If you just looked at some of his facial expressions, he was. I mean, people out there can just go and see some snaps of it, and you'll see it just doesn't look good. But I don't know. JD Vance came out, talked very, very good, went over the points, talked, really professional, really presidential in some ways, which he
Hmm.
should. And again, the moderators were really after him, like not giving him the respect that they were giving the other one.
Hmm.
They literally would say, what do you think, Balls? How do you respond to that? But they didn't give him a lot of the courtesy, JD Vance that is, to respond to a lot of things. They were fact checking him, right? Kind of like what they did to Trump. And good for him. JD Vance responded back and was trying to correct the record, but these debates really don't help um, because it's really three on one the last time and now this time. But I think anyone that watched saw that JD Vance definitely won. If you wanted to give the winner on this, but I just saw on X that the Democrat profile said that like we won, but if you click on it, you look at all the comments, and like everyone's like, "What are you talking about? No, no, no." Some
Yeah.
people said, "Yeah, they both did well, but JD Vance still, got it." Um, but no, I mean, I think it's. I mean, listen, I think the more I see and learn about JD Vance, I think he was a great pick for Trump.
Hmm.
He fills in the blanks where Trump may not have. Uh,
Hmm.
I do believe he has that eloquent way of being and talking and just feeling like he belongs there, whereas Trump may lack a little bit of that. So I think that's good for him. And you know, they gave him a question about, I guess 4 years ago, JD Vance did not like Trump. He had a lot of
Hmm.
negative things to say
It's
about him.
true.
Um,
Yes.
and listen, he's like, listen, I made a mistake. I listened to the media. I did this. It wasn't true. I figured it out myself. Now I'm
Hmm.
obviously, I figured out that Trump is the way. So it's just, the way they try and push everyone's buttons, but they didn't get him. He did a really good job. He even was like, I feel bad for you, Walls, because you're in a very bad position. You're not such a bad guy, but you're running. The person that's trying to be president is not the person, and you're in a really tough position because it almost sounded like he felt bad for him because he was put in that
Yeah,
spot.
it
But
feels like he's being thrown into the fire that Biden and Harris are responsible for. One thing I will say is, his closing remarks, meaning Vance. I mean, he was, we can use the term presidential as you mentioned, but he said, "Listen, we see where the economy's been for the last 3.5 years. We see nobody should go like without heat in the wintertime. We should make it affordable. Do we want to continue this, or do we want a guy who's already been there, done the job, and he's shown the results, meaning Trump? And that's what he was pointing out. I think he presented that very well. It was great he did that at the end of the debate. You know, Listen, we know the media is all for Harris, 100%, is because I've said in the past, you peel back the onion, who owns the media? The elitists of the world own it. That's what it is. You got six companies that control, over 90% of the world's media. So they're really, they're pushing their narrative, they're pushing their agenda. So hopefully the American people will be smart enough to, 5 weeks from today, and they vote Trump in. We know there's going to be a lot of shenanigans going on as well for the election. Go ahead.
What really always triggers me is that, all right, everyone out there that's listening, I think we can all agree that the illegal immigrants in the country not helping us right now. We
Hmm.
see crime. I saw on the news. We'll have to check it. Right, they said there were like 13,000 um, people that or murderers and like 16,000 rapists that have been on the streets that are convicted in their own countries, and they're here now.
Sure.
So our
I
streets are
think those
more,
I think those numbers are actually much higher than that. But
probably
go
that's
ahead.
just what we know,
Yeah,
right? But
yeah.
so I think everyone should agree that things are not nicer or better or safer than they were 4 or 5 years ago. And
Hmm.
the one thing that when we talk about immigration, the only thing that the Democrats are trying to say, well, Harris is the only one that's ever prosecuted gang members or have ever prosecuted. It's kind of like a cop out. Like you're trying to go off of like she was a prosecutor, right? That's her job in California.
Hmm.
So of course she prosecuted people. That was what her job was. But to kind of just pretend like the problem's not here and she wasn't a big part of the problem, it's I mean, come on. I mean, everyone's got to
You
wake up.
know, I got to say, if anybody remembers Judge Joe Brown, okay, he used to be on TV. I think it was maybe CBS. It was okay, he had his own TV show. That guy has a lot of information. He's a Democrat, an old school Democrat. He's from Tennessee. But Google Judge Joe Brown and Kamala Harris comments, and even Obama comments. This guy has a lot of good stories, but they're factual, what he's telling. And you know what? This is coming from another Democrat's mouth, because if it comes from a conservative Republican, people are going to say, oh, that's BS, that's propaganda. But she slept her way to the top. Okay, Kamala Harris. She's never been in charge of anything. Oh, and as far as being successful at it, let's leave it at that. She was supposed to be the borders off. We see the results of that as well. Let's look at what's happening about the tropical storm that hit. Nor Biden nor Harris has been to any of the areas. Okay, and it's been, you know, 5 to 6 days in some of the areas already. Where are they? Trump appeared down in Florida. He went to an area that was hit. They should be up in the Boone and Asheville area up in North Carolina showing their faces, but they're not. I'm sure Trump will go up there, but they're not. So where is the leadership? Where is your leadership capabilities? You want to be president? We have a national disaster hit the southeast of America. Where are you? There's over 150 people that lost their lives, possibly more. Where are you? Show some compassion. She went to the border wall over the weekend wearing a $65,000 Tiffany necklace. It was like more like a photo shoot instead of really being a leader, being concerned. Okay,
Yeah.
it's all a bunch of props and propaganda they're trying to do, and that's what it is.
It's really like when you're down, right? You need your leaders to bring you back up, and that's you
Sure.
know, it's all of them. It's everyone. They all have to be there. These are a lot of these. I mean, a lot of these are like photo ops, right? They're there just to take the photo. That I mean, I saw one.
100%.
She was on like the plane. She was on the airplane, like looking
Oh,
at a document. I mean,
that was great.
we
That was great.
I mean, I would be so scared if she was the one that was our president. We need people. We need. I mean, not just the president. We need government that is going to be there for us when we need them, right? And that's just it.
Jonathan, you know what it comes down to? And I've been this way my whole career. All right. And when I'm especially in management positions, working for other companies, you got to not only stand tall in front of everybody, you got to be willing to jump in the fire and lead people through it. That's what you have to do. It's just like when things, when people feel things are going south, but corporate wants you to like take it another direction, make people believe in it. That's what you have to do. If you're a good leader, you're going to do that because you're going to rise people up and want to follow you. They're going to want to be behind you side by side. They're even going to want to be fighting in front of you to protect you because they know you got their back. To
Exactly.
her, I wouldn't even bother. No, she doesn't have our back. Why should we have her back? Same thing with Biden,
1,000%. The best leaders are the ones that pitch in and do the work too, and then it's how you build, everyone around you and helping you, and then they see like, oh, this person's willing to do the hard work too, so I'm gonna work extra hard to show them. So yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, listen, we need to. Everyone's got to just pay attention, be careful. It's it's uh, it's crazy
Listen,
what's happening.
people, again, you got to use your head. Look at it logically. That's what you got to do. Look at what's happening. Look at your pocketbooks. Look at your bank accounts. They've been depleted over the last 3.5 years tremendously. Okay. There's less money being made in households than ever before, and savings has been depleted because people looking to pay their bills because everything's gotten so expensive. You know, I mean, listen, does the VP's debate really have any weight on who they're going to vote for? Nah, they don't. You know what? It's kind of like just like a pony show on the sidelines. That's what it is. God forbid they have to step in. At least you saw the debate. You see how they are. But I mean, it's down to Trump and Harris. And hey, listen, people who are just hardcore Democrats, liberal, Marxists, they're going to vote for her. And people who are, hardcore Republicans, conservatives, they're going to go with Trump. It's those independents that are really going to make the big difference. And as I've always shared with you, Jonathan, over the years, and since we, started this podcast, I tell people I'm not a Republican Democrat. I'm a conservative, but I'm a constitutionalist, meaning I believe in that Constitution, what built this country and built companies. And that's why America is America and everybody wants to come here. You know, listen, let's wrap this up. Listen, thumbs up, hit the like button, subscribe, share with other people. You guys have a great day. Take care.